it's just that simple. It's just that simple. We make shit a whole lot harder than what it has to be. So I'm taking it back. It's been a minute since I've been in my vehicle to do a video, but this is how my YouTube channel started off, talking in my car or in my truck. So something happened to me the other day that hadn't happened to me in a very, very, very long time. I'm a part of this event that will be talking about mental health, mental illness, and I'm a part of the mental health panel. And so we did a meeting to meet everyone that'll be a part of the panel, introduce ourselves, our story, and how we got into being advocates on mental health, and just in the space that I'm in now with even evolving in my spiritual connection. And so I began to tell the story of the loss of my sister at the young age of 32, who was diagnosed bipolar disorder years prior, and in 2011 she committed suicide. As I was telling this story, I began to be flooded with emotions that came out of nowhere, and I found myself trying to hold back these emotions, and it was so crazy because I remember during a space in my life and getting over this loss of being sick and tired of crying, and I just remember telling myself, I don't want to cry anymore, I don't want to cry anymore. And so when I finally got to a space of sharing my story and not crying, it was like, yes, I'm over this. But long story short, as I'm sharing the story, as these emotions begin to fill me, as my body begins to express this feeling of sadness and sorrow, and remembering what it felt like the day that I lost Latrice, with the phone call telling me, I'll be there to get my hair done. I used to do hair. I'll be there to get my hair done. I'll see you. Everything sounded fine, wonderful. So I thought everything was okay. And that was the last time I spoke with her. And that was the part that I shared in the meeting, and it just choked me up. But the crazy thing is that my body and my mind was in a space of sadness and sorrow. But there was another side of me that was aware and was looking at myself, if you can understand that, was looking at me in these emotions, was looking at me or aware that I was feeling some type of way about expressing this. And so I wasn't in a place of sadness, sorrow. I wasn't in a place like it didn't feel bad, but I could see me going through these emotions as I shared the story. It was like two separate people, although I know I'm not two separate people, but there was this conditioning of remembering this feeling and this memory and what it felt like, and bringing that back into my life. And then there was this space that I'm in now, and being aware of what the body does and what the old conditioning of the mind does and what reliving and replaying old stories do. And it just causes our human nature to react to how we felt in that moment. I'm sharing all this to say that, I'm over the loss of my sister, and it can be difficult for some people to say, what? Like, what? You're over that? I'm sharing this to say that you can be over your loss and your grief. Not to say you don't miss who you've lost, but life goes on. You can be over this divorce and that relationship you've been in. And it's okay to be over it and not continue to beat yourself up or feel guilty or replay it or retell it and feel like you have to stay in this same storyline and identity of that space in your life. It's okay to be over things that have hurt you in the past, your fails. It's okay to just be over what happened 5 minutes ago and just be over it and start every new breath a new space. All right? And in those moments where you feel that, or your body, or you begin to express these emotions and these tears and these feelings that no longer fit the space you're in, but it's happening to you, it is okay. I want you to know that there's a space of awareness, okay? Be aware of that. be aware of what's happening, and that some things just happen to us because of the old conditioning, because of what we've been through, because of what we've been taught to believe in, holding on to certain things about our life, or our old self-image, or our life's journey and story. Yes, I share the story from time to time because people relate, and it helps other individuals possibly get over something, to say, okay, she got through it, I can get through it too. But I also want you to understand that you don't have to relate to anybody. You don't have to keep replaying. You don't have to keep reliving. You don't have to keep thinking about the same things that happened in your life that keep making you feel like shit, sorry, guilty, sad, hurt. Life happens, and this is what life is all about. And those things called crisis, downtimes, those things, those moments that cause the hurt, the most hurt, the pain, is usually the moments that wake you up to what life is all about, and to experience life from a place of awareness, from a place of love, from a place of a deeper connection than what we see, feel, have, can do, what we lose, a deeper connection than all of that. It's deeper than that. And I don't know if what I'm sharing with you right now goes along with, or not goes along with, makes sense to you about where this all came about, with me sharing the story in that meeting, and just began to feel this flood of emotions from what happened then that I hadn't felt in so long, and being able to be aware of myself in a space and what that story does to me. It's okay to let go of those stories. It's okay to cry about it. It's okay for the body to release it. It was like a purge of old emotions that were still up in there somewhere, and sharing it just happened to me. You know, life happens, death happens, shit happens. And while in a state of being in a space of loss or grief, failure, or something being taken away from you, crisis, in a state of being like that, it's hard to see that life goes on, and that you can actually live your life in love, happiness, joy, fulfillment, without some of the things that we have identified ourselves to or attached ourselves to. But I'm here to tell you that life goes on. And you don't have to use time to heal you. You can use this very moment to say, I'm okay. I'm good. I don't have to hold on to that. That was a part of my life, and now here we are. Here we are, moving forward, step by step, moment by moment. Breath, one inhale at a time. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. The minute you begin to realize that your inhale, your exhale, your truth of being is more than any loss, because everybody has their own journey and story to live, just like you do. Choose to live in that story, in that dream, exactly the way you want to be, exactly the way you want it to be. I'm about to pick up my kids. Choose to live in that story that you choose to tell yourself. And it's just that simple. It's just that simple. We make shit a whole lot harder than what it has to be. It's just that simple. Get out of your head and go inward. Go inward. It's a spaciousness, a stillness, a space of inner peace within. Find that space within yourself. I love you. Until next time. Welcome to this space in training your attention, our meditation session. Today's intention is to become aware of stillness, to access your full power and presence. If you are new to this, go ahead and let go of your expectations. Don't think about what you want from this practice. Relax your shoulders. Relax into the body. Become aware that you are breathing. Inhale. Exhale. Continue focusing on your breath as I speak. Breathing in, breathing out.